Good afternoon, everyone. Sheila here in Boho Daydreams. Welcome to my channel. Oh my goodness, I'm already yawning. Oh, that's not a good sign. Anyway, I hope everyone's having a wonderful weekend. I was busy this morning helping my husband with the firewood. He was cutting it up and chopping it, and I was stacking it, sorting it, and stacking it into the containers that we use. Generally what happens is the snow happens first, and then I'm out there in my flip-flops trying to quickly sort out the firewood. So we're ahead of it this year. But I thought maybe we would get snowed on while we were doing it. There was a lot of storming going on in the mountains, and they're all white. The mountaintops are all white, but we didn't get any. So that was good. Anyway, what I have here is the start to a process video of making a journal. I've been asked a couple of times if I would do one, and I don't know if I'm actually capable of doing a process video for a journal, because there's so many very, very talented crafters out there that have done this. But I know that so many of you have packages that I've created and want and feel like me, kind of new, very new, to using them. And I've used two of them. I've made two journals, so I may have just a slight bit more experience than some of you. It's not much though. So this is the beginning, and this is how I start, because I like to first I have an idea of what I'm trying to achieve, and then I know a little bit about the crafter. If I make this is for a journal swap that Deborah Pruitt and I were doing in June, but I was gone. I was gone so long, and then I came back and I was so far behind. So now I'm ready to attempt this. But I was asked to um, do it on a video, and so I said, well, I will try. I will try. Anyway, so I know Deborah loves purple. So that was the first thing that I looked at, was preparing something in purple, so that I have a selection of textiles to work with. And so I have a velvet package here, and it's got all the bits and pieces that you would have in your velvet packages. So I have that. Then I have the odds and ends of all the purple velvet packages that I put together, and I kind of just tied it all up. So I've got some lace, and I have all sorts of different pieces. And I'm going to be using some of the purple textiles that I have, my boho textiles. I'll be using some of those too. But I don't have all of that sorted out yet, because I go and pick things like that up as I go along. So I did find that I had some purple-ish doilies, so I grabbed those. Let's see, what, just a bunch of odds and ends go into that package. Then I went and grabbed my trims that are purple. So this one's lavender and purple, and then there's the deep purple, purple floral, and this is one of my favorite. Oh, I just love this, purple with cream. And then there's also this purple. So I have those to work with. I have a few more I have to sort out. And then I put together some of the laces that I might use. I love the eyelet, so I know I'm going to use some of that. This is a vintage piece of beautiful lace. And then there is some of the older pieces that I have. And so there's a lot of lace in here, and I've got plenty more to go and choose from later on. I don't need to actually prepare all of that right now. But when I find it, then I grab it. So I found a couple of vintage napkins that had some purple in it. So I have put those aside already. Let me clear my table here just briefly so I can go through some of the papers that I'm looking for. So in my mind, and I've never met Deborah, but she's such a dear person to me, I'm thinking of a journal of memories, of pen pal friendships and memories. And so I love old and antique and vintage. I love that sort of thing. I love the feel of the paper. So I went through some postcards because I know I'm going to need them, because this journal is about friends from around the world, pen pals from around the world. And it might change in the next video. It might be, the focus sometimes changes because as your journal goes on, then it starts to morph. But this is what I have in my mind right now. So I have some beautiful postcards, and I'm looking for the ones that have a little bit of purple in them and are maybe location specific. I need some black and white ones. I need some memorabilia of others who have traveled and sent her things. And here's another little cute one. I just thought that was cute, very unique. Then I need to have some letters. And so I picked out a couple of French letters. These are from, I don't even know when. They're from the early 1900s. Early 1915 or something like that. I don't even know. Anyway, and then there's another one, another English letter. So I have a little stack of letters. Then I like to use the old papers when I'm making my tags also. So I found in my pile of papers, I found some really nice writing, some very old. This is a journal from an 8-year-old. And this is 1925. So I love the way the paper feels. And I'm sorry if it's coming out a little bit yellow. It's just the lighting that I have in here right now. Let me see if I turn on the light, if that makes a difference. I don't know. It's very dark outside. All right. So these will be for collaging. And then I grabbed some French papers, and these will also be for collaging my tags and the mats for my photos and whatnot. I grabbed a couple of napkins because they have purple in them. And then this was super, super interesting because as I was going through my papers, looking for some French papers and documents, I ran into these, and I don't know where these ever came from, but I might scan a few and use some, and I will definitely be putting one of these document papers into the journal, but it won't be sewn in. It will just be a tuck in. So I was looking at this, and it's not yellow like it's showing up. I'm gonna see if I can change my lighting here a little bit, if it changes things up, because I can't stand it. All right, let me see. No, maybe that will work better. Maybe. This is from 1689. And I thought at first I was not reading it correctly. And I was going through the paperwork. I can't believe this paper has stood the test of time. Oops. But here's another one. 1674. And so one that's going to kind of stand up to the journal will go into the journal. And here's another one, like 1779. Another one. And they were just, it was so interesting that they're that old. And then I went and grabbed, oops, get that out of here. Must be, it's a receipt of some sort, but it's from the 1940s. And I liked it. And I thought that will tuck in quite nicely. Be like from her journeys when she went shopping and found something fun, because you can't make friends and pen pals unless you do a little bit of traveling. And so here's another one. Oh, I think this is the one I wanted to put into this journal. Isn't that pretty? So much writing on it and paper. I just love it. So anyway, there is that. Then I like to pick out some different paper. And I don't do a lot of inking. Well, I haven't, and that can change too. But I love to use different types of paper. So this is a watercolor paper, I think. This is a handmade paper, and these are all creamy colored. And there's a few other, I don't even know what this is. This is very interesting paper. It's not the regular copy paper. Then there is some cream colored paper. And I know it's hard to see with this lighting, but these are creamy colored. And I love cream colored, and I usually print on it also. Then there's another larger sheet. It's a very fibrous paper. So there's that. And then there is antique, I want to say graph paper, ledger paper. I'm a little bit tired. I didn't get a lot of sleep last night. So I always need ledger paper, some antique music paper, and I'll need a lot more than that because I use it for everything. Then I already know what my cover is going to be like, so I have that cut out already. And then I also know I want to be adding a writing board. So I went and grabbed a piece of really strong construction type of cardboard. There's also this, and this here, I use this a lot. This is 1909 paper, ledger paper, but it's huge. It's like 20 inches by 20 inches. So, and it's really sturdy paper. So I use a lot of this paper for my matting and stuff. So there's that. And then I have all of my papers, the digital kit that I want to use. I have that ready, and I've printed this out, and I've already done a little video on printing that out. But I love printing on all the different types of paper. So I printed on just regular cream colored paper, and some vellum, and some tracing paper. So I have a bunch of papers printed out already, and some I've printed out in doubles because I may use more than one. But I will not be using all of this digital kit in my journal, but I will be using a lot of it. And then there are also the other things that we use. So I have this book. This is an old book, but it's German, and I can't read it, and I don't know what it's about, but I'll be using that in as my matting and as my papers. Then there is Edith Holden. I love Edith Holden papers because, and I've used this one a lot, but I love the pictures, but more than the pictures, I love the print on it, and I love this paper. And so I will be using a lot of it. I love to tear this up and use it behind my other prints that I use, just because it really just the color of the paper and the type of paper it is just really looks nice. I also will be using some coffee dyed paper, which I don't even really have here because I just grab that as I go along. And I also want to be using some papers from here. I was looking and there's a lot of really beautiful flowers in here. And was a lot of purple flowers, which aren't actually showing up right now. But I also love the paper in here. I think this is just a 1985 or 1983 book. So I love the paper because it's a little sturdier. And so when you sew it all up, it makes a nice background for the collaging that we all love to do. This is a beautiful book. If you run into it, pick one up. I think I got this at a used bookstore. They only had one, and so I grabbed it. It wasn't expensive either, so there's that. That's always good too. Oh, it says blue. Maybe there's a purple section. Who knows? Oh, there is. Oh my goodness, there's lots of purple. Oh, wow. See, this is the picture that I saw. And I thought, oh, I need to grab this book because I need to use some purple flowers. So that's wonderful. So that's the start to what's going to become a journal. And that's just the process that I go through. If you have any questions at all, feel free to just give me an email. I'm going to put my email in the description box. I hope you all have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. Bye-bye.